Nothing happened. Even on the seventh time, nothing happened when he went in. Watch closely now. It wasn't until he started coming out of the water on the seventh time that parts of his body began to change and began to look clean. I want somebody to know that sometime it's not until you're coming out of your situation. It's not until you're coming out of your sickness. It's not until you're coming out of that thing that God will step in and begin to make you clean. Can I get a witness? All I'm saying is that when you obey God, it might be while you're in the middle of your dirty water, of your situation, that God will start the healing process. But that wasn't the end, my brothers and sisters. One final lesson that we learned from Naaman, a lesson that we all need to take heed to. The Bible records what happened after God healed Naaman. When you go down to verse number 15, Naaman said that I know that there is no other God in all of the earth. We've got to learn to give God the glory when he brings us out of our situation. We've got to learn to give God the praise when he heals your body. Is there anybody in this house who knows that whatever you're going through right now, it is what it is? But you can be encouraged because it don't have to stay that way. Can't you see Jesus faced with a similar dilemma? No, he wasn't afflicted with an incurable disease, but he was faced with an unstoppable death. Can't you hear him on his way to the cross? Father, remove this bitter cup from me. When he said, nonetheless, not my will, but thine will be done. In essence, Jesus was saying, it is what it is. But Jesus, he knew that it didn't have to stay that way. I'm so glad that it didn't stay that way. His muddy Jordan was the cross on Calvary, but he went to the cross anyhow. Can I get a witness? It didn't make sense to a lot of the folk who were watching. If he's all of that, why don't he come down and save himself? But I'm so glad that he stayed the course. Even death seemed like the end. How many of you know that death is not the end? But it didn't stay right there either. Because in 3 days, can I get a witness? The earth shook and the skies cracked like glass. Aren't you glad today? Although it is what it is, it don't have to stay that way. The children of Israel, they wandered for 40 years, but it didn't stay that way. The woman with the issue of blood, for 12 long years, it didn't stay that way. The man that was blind for 38 long years, it didn't stay that way. The crippled man that sat at the gate begging, it didn't stay that way. You might be sick, but you don't have to stay sick. You might be broke, but you don't have to stay broke. You might be depressed, but you don't have to stay depressed. You may even be jobless, but you don't have to stay jobless. Is there anybody in this house who knows that you don't have to stay in your situation? Because it is what it is. But the God I serve, my Bible said he's able to do exceeding and abundant above all that you can ask or think. Anybody in this house who knows he's able He's able. He's able. In 2012, he said, I'm the Lord thy God, and I change not. You have to understand, and I'm taking my seat. There are some Naamans in this house right now. You've been going through, and it seemed like the more you try to do to get better, it seemed like it get worse. But I want you to know that the God we serve, he cannot lie. And he have made you some promises. It's personal now, y'all. I don't care what he promised nobody else. He promised me something. And you ought to turn to somebody and say, I don't know about your promise, but I'm going to get mine. God bless you. God keep you. Heaven shine upon you.
Let's all say amen. The Lord used Mark Rodner today, didn't he? Amen. The Lord used him greatly. And we're going to open the door of the church while we have this song. Satan meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. And while the song is being sung, there may be someone who want to come to Christ. If you're here, we're going to ask you to come.